Good morning, everyone, um, fellow parishioners and friends of St. Luke's. And I'm here sitting above Lake Mayapack in the home where I currently live. And we had a nice, refreshing rain this morning, and it's very cool. And we've got some more rain coming, and I wanted to bring you a message regarding how things have been going the last few weeks since we opened back up for services. We have had a surprisingly good turnout of folks in person, total from inside and outside in our tent. These past two Sundays has been in the range of 45 to 50 people. So not where we were at our height before the pandemic, but creeping back there. And also we've had a number of people that have been following the live stream on Facebook. And in addition to that, we've had a number of people who have partaken of the services by going to the YouTube link that we send out every Monday showing the service. So there's a variety of ways for you to participate. We have been able to do the things that we've been doing because of the generosity of several people, and I don't want to single anyone out, but the one person that's made this possible now as we've come together these last couple of weeks is Doug Abdelnour. Doug is, as you know, a master of video and photography, and he's given abundantly of his time and energy to make it where we can have the service actually videoed from up in the balcony and then sent out via a cable to a large screen TV that we have out in the tent. And the tent has provided shade for people as well as seating, socially distanced, so we can get 20 to 25 people in there, even with the chairs 6 feet apart. So it's added to our capacity because we can't handle more than about 35 or maybe 40 on the inside if everyone is spaced apart appropriately. And they are. We have 4 people who are helping people find seats, helping people get to a place that's appropriately distanced from everyone else so that we can all be safe and assure that we are not going to be spreading the virus to our neighbors and that it will not be spread to any of us. There's been a lot of discussion in the last few weeks, both at the diocesan level and at the level of our clericus, which is the 10 parishes in our area, about what we should be doing and what we are doing. And I'll just tell you that most of the parishes in the diocese have not reopened, but most of those that have not reopened are in Staten Island and Manhattan and lower Westchester County, where the majority of the churches are located. So the more heavily populated areas are those where, first of all, the virus spread, and second of all, where a majority of the churches are. The churches that have opened begin right about where we are, upper Westchester County, and upwards in Putnam and Dutchess County and those counties across the Hudson River. The majority of these churches are open, and the reason is because the pandemic did not hit these areas as hard as it did in the other areas nearer and within the city. So there's been a lot of discussion about whether we should, whether we shouldn't open, and the parishes in our clericus, there were only 2 of us that planned to open on July 5. It was us and St. Mary's in Chappaqua. St. Mary's changed its mind in the week before July 5 because there were 2 cases of the COVID virus in Chappaqua. And so the rector there elected not to begin services. There's a number of, there's 10 different parishes here in our clericus that run all the way from down in Pleasantville up to Mohegan Lake and us and on the northern end. And none of those parishes has opened yet, but there are a variety of reasons for the fact that they haven't opened. Several of them are churches that are staffed by only one priest that is shared between two different parishes, and the two different but those places, the parishes that are served are further north, and so they've elected to open further north so that people can come to those parishes. Granite Springs, one of our dearest and nearest neighbors, hasn't opened yet for regular worship service on Sunday morning. They have prayer throughout the day on Sunday where individuals can come. One of the reasons they haven't opened is because Father Hal Rourke is on sabbatical this summer, and so he's not returning until the end of August, and will begin services there when he returns in September. And some of the other parishes around us have just decided simply not to reopen, and the ones that are closest to us are at St. Luke's in Katona and at St. Mark's in Mount Kisco, and both of the priests there one of them is very, very, very part-time, Father Patrick Ward, and just simply taking care of pastoral matters has been overwhelming for him, as you might imagine, during this time, and he just simply doesn't have the time to prepare for and conduct services on Sunday mornings at the church. And Father George Brandt at St. Mark's in Mount Kisco has not been doing services at all, either live stream or in person, for the last 4 months. He lives in the city, and it's difficult for him to travel out, and his time is apparently very limited in the parish, and so he has elected not to restart services there. So, I would, if you know folks in those parishes, I would ask you to reach out to them to let them know that we are open. They are welcome. We obviously are not trying to take them away from their parishes, but we want to provide them a place of worship during this time that's very critical I think, for us to find our way back to practicing a regular discipline of worship in our parishes. This coming week, Joyce and Lester will not be there. And we have elected not to hire someone to come and play music. I feel like this service on Sunday will be a rather contemplative one, since it will just be the Word and the liturgy. So I wanted to reach out to all of you who haven't been back yet and let you know that I understand, and everyone understands, that there is a reluctance to return to worship in a closed environment where it is not always ascertainable even that we are safe. So we understand that. And my decision was to open. A lot of the parishes around sent out surveys to their parishioners, and they got some reports back that some people did not want to return yet, and so they elected not to open the services yet. My philosophy was kind of a Field of Dreams philosophy, which is build it and they'll come. And you have, for the most part, but I understand also that there are others who have not, and that's certainly understandable. I don't want any of you who have not returned yet to feel left out. And I would invite you to come by to see me if that's safer for you, or you feel safer by just one-on-one individual contact where we can meet outside and talk about what's going on in your life. Or if you want to just communicate with me via FaceTime or via Zoom, I have the capability to do both. One of the good things about this is it's caused me to have to learn new technology, and I'm finding some of it fascinating. So, I just want everyone to know that we're doing all we can to create an environment where you can participate, can honor your faith, can be with those whom you love, and to be around us. But also for those who are not comfortable in a congregational setting, we don't want you to feel left out. We don't want you to feel like you're not part of our congregation and not part of what we're trying to do. We have a lot of work to do going forward. I've mentioned this in my sermons. Our food pantry is flourishing. We're serving more and more people. We've established a group of people who are a liaison with the food pantry, folks who are not our members of our congregation, but we want them to feel a part of this ministry as we feel a part of it. And we're doing a lot of things about that. And if there's any way that any of you can help in that, we certainly welcome your participation. The group that we have working on our what we call the Epiphany Project, which is finding and helping those mothers and children at risk in our communities and in our geographical area. We're really trying hard to figure out how to implement that ministry and consolidate it with our food pantry and try to serve a broader number of people and a broader segment of our population. So I think that's all for now. I just miss those of you who I haven't been able to see in person, and will continue to miss you. I would invite you, if you're able, just to drop me an email. Let me know how you're doing, even if it's not, calling upon me to talk to you. It's just letting me know what's going on in your life and how, if in any way I can assist, or any of us in the parish can assist you in your journey. You can go to the website. You all know what it is, I think, slcsomers.org. You'll find my email address there. But my email address is fathermike@slcsomers.org. Stands for St. Luke's Church Somers.org. So would love to hear from you, even if it's just dropping a note and telling me how you're doing, telling me how your family's doing, telling me what's going on with you, and keeping me abreast. We will look forward to all of you who are able to come on Sunday, and we'll keep on moving forward. We have a good amount of work to do, and I'm anxious to get back to it. So I would leave you with the prayer that all of you feel God's presence as you go through these still difficult days. Even though it's sometimes difficult to feel God's presence when things are hard for us, we, by our faith, know that God is present. And prayer is the way to feel that presence more profoundly. So if you will join me in prayer in the coming days, that we are able to survive this pandemic. We are able to find that we flourish at the end. That even though it's been difficult, even though some of us have lost loved ones, even though we are searching for a path forward, that God is on that walk with us. So I invite your participation in any way that you are able. God bless you all. Miss those of you who I haven't seen, and I look forward to us all being able to get back together soon.